When I first started filmmaking and got into the lighting techniques, at the time it was actually quite difficult to get colored lights, the RGB lights, because they were either those gels you have to put on, they were fiddly and often fall off. And then we had those big RGB panel lights, but they were heavy and not really portable. But fast forward to today, we have this. This is the light that ZHIYUN sent me. It's the X60 RGB light. As you can see, it's quite compact, which is the first thing I already love. Inside, we have some charging cables, and then here's the light. Let me just take the cover off. Look at this. Look how compact this is, how small. You can literally fit in your pocket, and that has got millions of colors you can produce. And I have to give it to ZHIYUN for the innovation of making it so easy and portable, whereas there's other RGB lights out there. It's not powerful enough, don't have the color accuracy, or it's just a bit too big. What also comes with this is this detachable battery. Now there's two ways you can power this light. You can either plug into the wall using this, or to make it even more portable, the X60 also comes with this little dome with a diffuser, which you can attach to the light. And what this does, of course, give you a softer look on the skin, so it's not too harsh. And you know what I just realized? If you look at this actually looks like a little portable camera. Like you press a button and you can take a picture. Pretty cool design. And it's not too heavy. So definitely is so portable. You can use outside, indoors, anywhere. With this battery grip attached, you can run about 50 minutes if the brightness is full 100%, but obviously a few hours if it's dimmed at a lower brightness. The X60 RGB light is part of the ZHIYUN MOLUS range. In terms of the physical control on the light itself, we have the power button and the two knobs here. Pressing one on the left takes you through two different menu options, and the right to adjust the brightness, color, etc. But you can also press the right button, which increases the value in segments. And just think about all the situations where you can use this light, and because it's so compact and small, you can get into small spaces that you normally couldn't get into with these big panel lights. But in this video, I also want to talk about the color theory when we are lighting for a scene, because that color has effect on the audience, emotional and psychological side, depending what color you've put in the frame. Now, to understand this, I have to show you this color wheel. This rainbow donut, it's more than just arts and craft. It's actually a map to navigate color in your film. So let's start with the basics. Primary colors, we have red, green and blue. But the real fun begins when you actually start playing with the complementary colors. Those are the ones directly opposite each other on the wheel, like orange and teal, which is a very popular example in Hollywood films. Like Mad Max, this film screams orange and teal. You don't even have to look for it, it's right there in front of you. And you can see it just pops and looks so nice and cinematic. Another one is Bad Boys. It's not so obvious, but if you look carefully, normally the skin tone is a little bit orange with a blue kind of teal background. And Transformers has orange teal all over the place. Again, it pops so nicely with the skin tone with the background, the blue kind of teal color. So what I'm going to do is show you how I can light some scenes with this X60 light, especially if you're in an environment or location that has white walls, which is everywhere in my place. White walls generally aren't very attractive in films. If you watch the big Hollywood films, you'll see that generally it's got nice green, red, orange, anything but not white. But with this RGB light, you can actually make a boring white room that looks a lot better. So we just have to wait until it's nighttime, because at the moment it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. In the meantime, I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea. Alright, it's evening time. I have the MOLUS G200 over there to light the whole room, so you guys can see what I'm doing before I switch on the other lights. Now, I have two X60s. One is here, it's a little bit naked, I'll tell you why in a bit. And we have the other one here, which is got the diffuser on there. Now behind me, as you can see, is a white wall. As I said earlier, most places have white walls and it just doesn't look really attractive in filmmaking. Like right now, I've got one light bouncing off the ceiling and behind me it's just white, and then it needs some color basically. So this is the light that's going to add color onto the wall, and this is the light is going to light my face. And I talked about earlier using two different colors, and on the color wheel, what complement each other is teal and orange. So I'm going to use this light to light the background, which is teal, and then this one a little bit orange, and see how that looks and see if it's better than just this basically. Now, I said earlier why this was naked, it hasn't got anything on. It's because I'm going to put an adapter on. This adapter will go on there, which allows me to put on a bigger dome softbox so that I can isolate the lighting you'll see later, which is important, so that light from this light doesn't spill everywhere onto the wall, so it mixes with the teal. So you'll see later. Let's put this on. Okay. So because that's on there now, I'm able to take this off so that this light is now flexible in terms of going up and down. The name of this adapter, by the way, is the ZHIYUN mount, which is available from ZHIYUN as well. All right, I have the dome here. As you can see, it's got the egg crate on, which will avoid the spilling of the light. So let's put this on. Okay, we'll just set that light over here for a minute. And this light, I've made it teal already. So what I do is point that at the wall, just to the side. And as you can see behind me, there's that teal background that used to be white. Now it's not completely teal because I've got the house light on. So let's turn that off. And now I'm just in silhouette, but look behind me, how cool is that? A white boring wall is now all teal. And now I just need to turn the other light on to light my face. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just using mine to check how I look. You see this side here, it's slightly orange. It's because that light is pointing at the wall now. So we need to adjust the position and make sure that it only hits me, but not the wall. Okay, this isn't too bad, but I feel like this light needs to be a little bit higher so it hits my face a bit more from the top rather than from directly from the side. And there you go, now it's a little bit higher, it's hitting my face. So for this scene to work, I think the character needs to face the light a bit more so you can see the face lit and it pops more from the background of the teal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a boring white wall looking great with just two RGB light. All right, for the next scene, I'm going to sit down there and act if someone is, feeling down, sorrow, it's a negative feeling. So I want to create a nice blue field light coming from above here, shining down. And I want to add some red as well behind those blinds to give that pop from the background to the character. Okay, I've set this kind of blue. I might adjust it, but I think this is kind of okay. And by the way, here's a good tip if you want to check lighting is okay with another person sitting in. You put your fist there to pretend that it's another person's face, I guess, and then you can see how that hits your fist to kind of understand how you might hit somebody's face. Okay, let's make this a lot higher, about here, and if we just move it here, and for me to sit down, yeah, that's not bad. Obviously all the other lights will be off. Okay, I've got it in red and I've got the diffuser dome on there. Brightness 2%, 100% saturation for red. Okay, this is the final result. I adjusted a little bit with the saturation of the blue was too much, so I reduced it by about 2%. I opened the blinds a little bit more so that the red was able to hit my face rather than just in the background. I think that mixing the blue and the red together is quite nice. And this gives you more kind of sorrow, sad, or kind of sci-fi feel to it, you know? And this is a very different mood to what we did earlier. And that's the sort of things you can play with color, like I said. And this thing almost also could be like art house, which has that extreme color of blue and red, or it could be a music video. Okay, let's do the final scene. By now, I think you got the idea that one light is always lighting the background to separate me from the background, and the other is acting as a key light to light my face. So using the same principle, I'm gonna do one more, which has that moody feel to it this time. And I'm gonna put this light outside here, maybe magenta or pink kind of color to light the back of me. And then I'll be a silhouette. And as I coming through here, the door frame, you're gonna see my face being lit orange kind of color by this light here. I'm gonna place it so that it hits me as I walk in. And this time I'm also going to change costume, so I'll be a little bit more in character. Okay, slight change of plan. The backlight, I've moved it into that room so you can see what's behind me. That separates more rather than to my right. And then also the color, magenta purple, as you can see right now, it's not really working for me. And I don't feel the color really match. And this is what I mean about experimenting with different colors depending on the color wheel. And sometimes it doesn't work. So instead, I think even though those are RGB lights, I'm going to turn all of them into orange yellow, the exact same color, temperature of 3000 Kelvin. Both are going to be at 1 or 2%. This one's going to just point, reflecting back from the wall. This one's just filling that room. And you'll see in a bit, that just gives it even more kind of match because they're the same color. And it still gives that contrasty and also the moody feel to it as well. So those are just some ways how you can use an RGB color light to introduce emotions into your scenes by understanding the color wheel, which I talked about earlier, and adapting to the environment you're in, and just be creative, you know. We're at a stage now we can get RGB light that's powerful and almost the size of a credit card, where you can put it in your pocket, take it anywhere, put in tight spaces. So yeah, I definitely would recommend getting one of these if you're just starting out and looking to do your RGB lighting, because it's small, portable, and easy to use. Keep exploring, keep filming. Till next time.